Let's get it. Take one.
Yep. No takes. One take. One take.
One take.
One take. That's it. If you mess up, you mess up. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is your favorite local realtor, Jeremy, here in Keller with Gainesville with the Whitney Perkins team. And today we have another special guest. I'll let him introduce himself and we'll get right into the video.
Hey guys, I'm Alex Harding. I am a real estate agent here at Keller Williams as well, on the ALC team, which is an honor, a privilege, and a little bit of a job. But yeah, been here for about 2 years. Seen Jeremy since the day he showed up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see where you're at now and where you started.
Yeah, vice versa. I remember when I got here and, seeing him in and out of this place, running around, grinding it.
The grind,
The
man.
grind from the beginning and seeing how far you've come, in this short time is incredible to watch and very inspiring, actually, because you didn't start, too much before I did.
Yeah.
So just seeing how far you've come is awesome to see. So, I mean, just to on the topic, what
Mhm.
inspired you to get into real estate? Because I know you moved here.
Yeah. Moved to Gainesville about a month before I got my license. So like I moved here, started the course the next day.
Yeah.
And got my license August 1st of 2022. And really the motivation to get into real estate was financially related.
Yeah.
I am married 16 years, have 5 kids. So a lot of responsibility, a lot of mouths to feed. Money is needed to survive. And before I did real estate, I worked for a kids intro to soccer company in Charleston, South Carolina,
Cool.
that ran, over 1,000 kids a week, had over 30 coaches,
cool.
and was the business manager for that business, and was making $50K a year.
Yeah.
And so $50K a year,
5 kids
with 5 kids and a wife. It just the math wasn't mathing.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who was actually a real estate agent here. It was actually my wife's best friend from college.
Wow.
Was a real estate agent here, and they had come and hung out with us one weekend in Charleston, and kind of told her the financial struggle of life in general, and she was telling me how she was in her second year of real estate and made $90K.
Yeah.
And that I have a great personality and I would do so good at this job. And so we just kind of, after thinking about it for maybe a week, I was just like, it's worth the opportunity.
Yeah. And when you first came, you didn't join Keller Williams right away, did you?
Nope. When I first came, I joined that brokerage that my wife's best friend from college was at, and we kind of did a team thing together for a while, which was good and hard, learning the industry. And she was kind of newer to the industry too. So, we hit some bumps in the road and stuff here, and, decided to change plans a little bit, and never really was wanting to switch brokerages. But just happened to had a friend who I had encouraged to get into real estate as well. He was my CrossFit coach, and he got his license. And one of his friends from high school is another agent here, and it's Jen Lancaster.
There you go.
And Jen invited him. Yeah, she invited him to a partner meeting, and he was like, "Bro, will you go with me? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a little scared." And so I was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." And so I came, and it took me about 15 minutes in one conversation with Wiki to know.
That's all it takes, man.
Yeah.
It only takes just a few minutes with him to just get sucked in, and the culture here in itself was amazing.
Yeah.
And
being at the partner meeting and seeing the way they interact with each other, and the way those partner meeting goes. And I remember that first partner meeting, someone not local, but someone big in KW leadership had passed away in a plane crash.
Yeah.
And like they had this big tribute thing here, and Wiki got so emotional about it because Wiki knew her. And I was just like, it just seems so authentic and so real, and like you could feel the emotion. And it was just like, wow, this is very different than the other brokerage I've been at for 10 months.
That is, the culture of Keller Williams, but especially this office here in Gainesville. They do such a great job. And you're part of the ALC now, so you're part of growing that culture and expanding it. So Was there ever a time, because moving here with your family,
Hmm.
starting a whole new career is scary. Was there ever a time that you wanted to quit, and like what really kept you going?
Well, I mean, I tell people my first two real estate deals were the worst deals
Yeah.
ever because they went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
They were perfect.
Yeah.
No inspection issues. Negotiation was pretty easy. No appraisal problems. No repairs needed. Like it was just they were both layups.
Yeah.
You know,
We love
that third
layups.
deal, just
Yeah.
everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Yes.
You know, but I remember
Yes.
after those first two deals being like, God, and then you get the check, from those
Yeah.
first two deals, and I had a split.
Yeah.
I think it was 75-25 at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, it was just like, wow, like
Yeah.
there's money to be made
Yeah.
in this business. Like I don't understand why didn't everybody do this? It's
Exactly.
so easy. And that
Exactly.
third deal came along, and I mean, I just, it's like falling off the tree and hitting every
Yes.
branch on the way
On
down.
the way
Plop,
down,
plop, plop, plop.
everyone.
But I mean, and then so the monetary thing was, that was really nice. But, the hard part about real estate, and I know you know this,
Mhm.
is like ebbs and flows, it's
Mhm.
not consistent. It's like if you don't have a house under contract or a client under contract, you're essentially
Yeah.
jobless, right?
Absolutely.
Like there's no paycheck coming in the future.
Nope.
So there was a lot of stress involved with just like getting things moving, getting
Mhm.
things done. Finding another contact, whether it was a buyer or seller, and
Yeah.
figuring out how to serve them in such a way to get them what they're looking
Yeah.
for.
Especially coming from not this area.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
not like you moved here and you had, this huge
Huge fear.
sphere of clients to just be like, oh, I know this
Exactly.
guy, I know this guy, I
I
know
knew
this
two
guy.
people when I moved here, and one
Yeah.
was an
That's like
agent.
I had trouble, and I've lived in Gainesville my entire
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
so I can only imagine what it's like to
Yeah.
come down without any sphere of anything and get started, which is,
But I never wanted to quit. I
yeah,
never wanted to quit.
good.
I love the work. I've before getting into real estate, I was a pastor
Yeah.
for over double digit
Yeah.
years, international missionary.
Very
I've
cool.
always been a people person.
Yeah.
I've always genuinely cared about the people I interact with.
Mhm.
Like there's a genuine
Yeah.
connection there. And so, that's always been the driving force. And people can feel that.
Yeah.
People feel that pretty quickly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And just building that strong connection. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was hard trying to just find business
Yeah.
when you don't know anyone.
Yes.
And so I had to lean into some paid sources and different sources that take a big cut at closing,
Yeah.
which is never fun. But what it did do is give me opportunities,
Yeah.
you know?
100%.
And even though I was paying a big referral fee to some company, it still got me opportunities to get in front of people, to meet people, and to grow my sphere
Yeah.
so that now I have, 40, 50, 60, 70 clients I've worked with who love me,
Yeah.
and want to send me.
Send you people, come back to you when they need.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the best, way to really be successful in this market is
Hmm.
just have, that sphere that is constantly sending people because they know that you're going to do a great job and they know, love, and trust you.
Hmm.
So that's incredible. Gainesville's a market full of realtors. There's a ton
Yeah.
of us here.
Yeah. I think
Just
there's over 1,500 in Alachua County,
yeah,
in our county.
there's a ton. So what do you do to, kind of set yourself apart or separate yourself from just any old
Yeah.
other agent,
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, no, I tell people I'm very relational, and that's why I love this business, and that's one of the reasons I've been so successful in this business so
Yeah.
far, is it's all about relationships. And I do think when I meet with a client, for me, it's not about real estate's not about sales. Now, obviously, when we're listing a property, our main objective is to
Yeah.
sell it,
Right.
right? So
Yes.
it is, but more so than sales, it's really about education. and,
Yeah.
and especially with
Yes.
buyers
Yes.
starting out, it's so much easier to find a buyer than a seller.
Yes.
In my experience anyways. And so the buyers, it was a lot easier with that because it's all about education.
Hmm.
Here's all the options available to you. Here's all the creative things we can do to secure this property and make sure you know help them accomplish their goals, whether it's not paying money out of pocket for closing costs or trying to get their interest rate a little bit lower so their monthly payments
Right.
manageable. It's really just finding out what they need and teaching them all the options, you know, to accomplish those goals.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there's a lot of really creative things you can do that people just wouldn't normally think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So just trying to think out of the box, and really, again, it just comes down to building a relationship with that client, finding out genuinely what their needs and wants are as far as the real estate goals are concerned, and then just blowing them away
Yeah.
by teaching them, okay, this is what you want to do. Well, we could go at this from a few different angles. We
Yeah.
could do this, we could do that, we could do this too. And then they're like, oh, wow. So it's like being able to provide that value in the form of just wisdom and educating them on. And then once they see, oh wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about,
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, it takes 63 hours to get your real estate license.
Yeah.
63 hours and less than $500. Let's be
Not a
honest.
lot.
There's a lot of people out there who
Not a
got
lot.
one
Yeah.
that maybe probably shouldn't. I don't know. Don't want
Yeah.
to come across abrasive or
Yeah.
rude,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah.
it's a sliding scale
Yeah.
of
It is.
agents who know their stuff and who
Yeah.
don't. And I understand, being a new agent, you have to learn that.
You have
Like, you
to.
can't, it's like, I don't want to throw shade. As a new agent myself,
Yeah.
I stumbled, fumbled, bumbled my way through a lot of things. And I
Yeah.
made mistakes that,
Yeah.
you know, ended up costing myself money because it cost my clients money and I
Yeah.
wanted to pay it to cover that loss,
Exactly.
you know?
Yes.
Um,
100%.
so yeah, it really just comes down to education for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's, and just connection and education. If I can build a genuine connection with you and, you know, get past the surface level and figure out what your really goals, desires, and aims are as far as real estate are related,
Yeah.
I can definitely throw out all the options that are available to you in that regard. And if it's something that I'm not so sure about, I lean on people who are smarter than me.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
being in this brokerage, in this building, there's so many people here who are smarter than me, which used to be so intimidating and so
Yeah.
terrifying
Yep.
until I learned, hey, I should just lean
Just
into it.
ask.
Oh, these
Yes.
people actually care about me and my business and want to help me out.
Yep.
So I can just call Whitney Perkins on the phone and ask her a
Exactly.
question,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
And so that also just like completely transformed and continued to grow and evolve me as an agent,
Yeah.
and has just made me so much better
Yeah.
at what I do.
And it's clear with the speed of your growth, here in Gainesville, if the way that you're performing is as if you've been here
Hmm.
as long as some of the other agents who have been here.
Hmm.
And that just speaks, going back to that know, love, and trust thing, that clearly people connect with you and trust you to give them your business,
Hmm.
because the numbers speak for themselves. So that's an incredible feat and not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So you should be proud of that. As for last question, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
For newer agents, what
Yes.
advice may you give to, may I don't know, I wouldn't say just be successful, because
Yeah.
that's so many things, but just
Hmm.
getting started, what is some advice that you would give to a newer agent?
For
Let's leave it at that.
sure. Yeah. Oh man, so many things
Yeah.
I would and could touch on here.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, such an excellent question. I started this business. I was, I think I was 35, 36
Hmm.
when I started. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
started a whole new career.
Yeah.
So it was terrifying
Yeah.
coming in. I think for the new agent is just to do the work first
Hmm.
off, because these things don't necessarily fall in your lap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to work for
Yeah.
opportunities. You got to put yourself out there. You got to have conversations with people and try to connect with people and try to find pieces of business out there.
Yep.
Another thing is just the education piece. Like, like, especially if you're an agent here, we have so many education
Yep.
opportunities all the time.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah. All the
you've
time.
got to utilize those things, because again, just being in the room with these agents has made me such a better agent. So like, you got to be hungry. You got to have the motivation.
Yep.
That's number one.
Yes.
Because if you don't have the motivation, if you're not motivated, a good self-motivated person, I just don't think you're gonna do very well very
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
in this business.
Tough.
So you got to have the motivation to get up and get to work.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to be you gotta be focused on your education and
Yeah.
growing in your knowledge
Gotta be
of the
learning base.
business.
Yeah.
Whether that's meeting with agents who are farther along with you, meeting with lenders, meeting with insurance providers, meeting with different inspectors, different providers in the real estate space to learn the ins and outs. I've learned so much from my inspector.
Hmm.
I've learned so much about appraisals from the guy that I get to do appraisals for me. I've learned so much about the business from multiple agents in this office and other offices
Yep.
who have asked questions and who have leaned in and helped me with different stuff.
Yep.
So I didn't lack the motivation. I
Yeah.
got a lot of motivation.
Yeah.
Got a lot of hungry people at home who need something to eat later.
Yes.
So the motivation was always there, but the education piece is such an important part
Yeah.
as well as a new agent, just
Yep.
to be eating up every single bit of information you can.
Yeah.
Um, it's gonna lead to success
Yeah.
in the long run.
Absolutely.
Because when you get in front of a client and you have no idea what you're talking about, they can tell.
They can
They
tell.
can tell.
And
And you
that's
don't have to have the answer to every
no, you
question.
don't.
Sorry to cut you off. You
No,
don't
you're
have
good.
to have the answer to every question. There's been many times people have asked something and I've been like, you know what? Let me look into that and get
Hmm.
back to you, just because I don't want to give you a half
Hmm.
truth. Yeah.
I mean, just seeing where you came from and how you've grown successful in such a short period of time from your hunger and from your grind is inspiring for me. And so I just, glad that you could stop by and talk to us and kind of just share your experience as a realtor. I just look forward to continuing to work with you.
Yeah, man. All the time.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.